What up, Dokkaners? We got a ton of news to break down because all 5 of these characters are in fact getting EZAs. The word just dropped on Dokkan, so we're going to go ahead and review all of these EZAs, and then that will help you make a more informed decision as to which ones you want to be picking up with your stones. Remember, you guys have access to 5 of these special stones at most. You could spend 1 on each. You could get whichever one you have the fewest copies of, or you could just focus on the ones that are really good versus the ones that are not. So let's go ahead and break down all of these EZAs. I am also going to be using their original builds just to sort of compare to see how far we've come. So we're going to start with TEQ Towa. What's up, girl? So this unit is a nuking lead. So attack and defense plus 20% per key sphere obtained, recovers 1500 HP per key sphere of the character's type obtained. So it just makes, like, you know, when a unit picks up matching type, they get a certain amount of healing. This just boosts the heal factor. So it's a very interesting and unique leader skill. Unfortunately, because it's a nuking lead, this unit will likely be banned on a lot of events. So I'm willing to bet this is probably going to be one of the better EZAs. So that is effectively doubled what it used to be, almost. This is what the original leader skill was. And now for the super attack, greatly raise defense for 1 turn, cause supreme damage to the enemy, lowers attack, greatly lowers defense, and seals. So we are just inflicting status effect upon status effect on this poor sucker. So we're boosting our own defense, we're nerfing, we're squishing, and we're sealing all at the same time. What did the original super attack do? Cause supreme damage, lowers... Oh, okay. Still did 2 out of the 3. Okay. Well, wow. All right, and then the passive is very much like support oriented, and there's just like there's nothing here. I mean, this is an old school support, not something that would work now. So in terms of the new abilities, attack and defense plus 200%, all allies key plus 3. For extreme class ally on the team, attack and defense plus 80% when attacking up to 400. All allies attack and defense plus 10% up to 50. Nice support, key plus 3, 50%. With when 3 or more crossover or demonic power category allies are on the team, or when all allies attacking in the same turn are extreme characters, attack and defense plus 200%, chance to dodge plus 70%, launches an additional attack that has a great chance of becoming a super. When all allies attacking in the same turn are crossover category characters, damage reduction 15%. So looking at this unit can function as a support outside of crossover. Obviously on crossover, she functions much better with a 15% damage reduction. Now 15% damage reduction with multiple defense supers might not be the greatest coverage on, you know, the highest difficulty fights, but for the most part, regular fights, medium level fights, maybe high level fights, this is going to be a pretty effective thing, especially since this unit is not going to be in slot 1, probably not going to be in slot 2, most likely going to be a slot 3 support. So this actually does look pretty solid for a sub EZA. Outside of crossover, without any damage reduction, this unit is very much a dodge or die. But you know what? You can kind of, depending on the event, you can kind of sort of establish a pseudo damage reduction effect. When I say that, I mean when you are lowering enemies' attacks while also raising your defense, you're effectively accomplishing that similar sort of phenomenon, but to a lesser extent. It's kind of like the pseudo critical attacks effective against all types. It's just like a lesser version of the damage reduction phenomenon. Just to say that this unit can still survive outside of crossover, but would likely be a full dodge build. Not likely, it is. This is a full dodge build. You gotta go full dodge. Like, if you've got 30, I don't think that's even possible. No, it's possible. If you go 30 dodge on the hit potential, then you would boost up this dodge from 70% to 79%. If you had a 20 dodge in your hit potential, you would bump up the dodge from 70% to 76%. If you had a 10 dodge in your hit potential, this would go from 70 to 73. So every little bit helps, and you should probably do that because the unit is not meant to be a damage dealer. This unit is meant to be a support and a debuffer, a nerfer. So let me know what you guys think about TEQ Towa in the comments down below. This is the first of the 5, so before you decide which one to buy with your stones, let's check out the rest. So coming up next, we got Mira. Oh, this guy goes Super Saiyan 5, dude. I can't wait. This, okay, so let's check out Mira. So let me pull up his info just to compare the original. Oh, there it is. Oh, that Super Saiyan 5 is gonna be awesome. Okay, so let's move this over here. All right, so Mira, physical key plus 3, 130% HP. We don't really care about that. Okay, and then for his super attack, he raised attack and defense, caused supreme damage to the enemy. He was a stacker both in his regular form and in his transformed state. So let's see what that does for us now. Now he greatly raises attack permanently, raises defense permanently, causes supreme damage to the enemy. So he's boosting up his attack more than his defense. Okay, then we got the passive here. So compare that to this. Yeah, so he got a little bit more ki with every super attack performed, and whoops, that's about it. And then he has a very odd transforming condition. It's in his passive, so this might be changed, won't it? So let's see here. Ki +3 attack and defense plus 250. One time only. Ew. What? One turn only attack and defense plus an additional 250. One turn only 70% chance to dodge. One turn only damage reduction 25%. Ew. When attacking with 12 or more ki, attack and defense plus 250. When 3 or more crossover allies or androids category allies are on the team, or when all allies attacking in the same turn are extreme class characters. Attack and defense plus 250. Chance to crit plus 70%. Oh my. High chance of launching an additional super attack. You know, when I see these two words together, I think of Android 21. Is there an Android 21 EZA coming up? Because that would be awesome. Icing on the cake. On top of all of these guys, we get an Android 21 Dokkan Festival EZA. Okay. When there's an ally whose name includes Towa attacking in the same turn starting from turn 3 from the character's entry. Oh. Or from the 4th turn from the start of battle. Oh, okay. Okay, so obviously this is more doable now, but it still requires Towa. You gotta have Towa and you gotta have Mira on the same team. You just have to. They have to be on the same turn, no less. So if I were to imagine this, it would probably be like first turn, he's there with Towa, and then turn 3, when you come back, all of these are gone, but you can just transform. Okay, so whatever. It's better than this because this was an HP restriction. Oh, they completely nuked the HP restriction. That's not even there anymore. All right, so now we go Super Saiyan 5. This is like one of my favorite card arts like ever. All right, so Super Saiyan 5 Mira. This guy becomes just an attack stacker, and he gets more offense here and a little bit more combo power. So let's see what the transformed state looks like. So there's Super Saiyan 5. Here's his super attack. Okay. So raising attack to supreme damage now becomes greatly raises attack permanently, raises defense permanently, causes supreme damage to the enemy, greatly lowers attack and defense, and raises extreme class allies attack by 10% for 1 turn self-excluded. So that makes this guy a slot 1 or slot 2 based on that. Okay. And now we look at the passive. Okay. Ki +3, attack and defense plus 300%, damage reduction 25%, 70% chance of launching an additional super. Attack and defense plus 80%, and chance to dodge plus 20% for the character and allies whose name include Towa. Whoa. Oh, that's even better. Towa just got 90% dodge because she had 70% here. Ooh, that's very nice. 90% dodge for Towa. Nice. Okay. That's awesome. All right. When attacking with 12 or more ki, attack plus 250. Attack plus 100% one-time activation for 4 turns. When receiving an attack with 12 or more ki, defense plus 250. One-time activation, defense plus 100%, and damage reduction plus 15% for 6 turns. Oh, that's going to be so annoying to keep track of that. Okay. So you've actually got 40% damage reduction for 6 turns. Okay. When 3 or more crossover or androids allies are on the team, or when all allies attacking the same turn are extreme class characters, attack and defense plus 300%. Home. Chance to crit plus 70%. When all allies attacking in the same turn are crossover category characters, damage reduction 15%, one-time activation. This will last for 6 turns. So you actually have 55% damage reduction. Still doesn't seem like a slot 1 unit, not early on anyway. More of a slot 2, but it will help a unit like Towa in the slot 3. Because you'll give Towa extra firepower, and she'll also be rocking a 20% additional dodge and some stats here. Interesting. I mean, look, this is about what I expected from a crossover sort of unit. So I don't think I should be too critical of this. You know what? I'm okay with this. I'm okay with it because look at what this guy used to be, and he is a sub EZA. Actually, what does he use to Dokkan Awaken? Like, I don't even know. What does he Dokkan Awaken with? Oh, it's the Bardock, the Masked Saiyan stuff. All right, so let me know what you guys think about the Super Saiyan 5 Mira. It's obviously not what he is. He's final form. He absorbs the egg and he becomes like a old vampire or something. Let me know what you guys think about the Mira in the comments down below. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one, which is Demigra. So let me go ahead and pull up this ooze info. Take your time. Demigra, where you at? Ugly. Demigra. Okay. There he is. All right, so Demigra's leader skill becomes all allies key +3, or all types key +3, 90%. Nobody cares. Okay. Next up for the super attack, greatly raised attack and defense for 1 turn, cause supreme damage, high chance to stun. He used to just have a medium chance to stun with no stat boosting. Okay. And then for the passive, he had a chance to transform and he had a chance to stun in the passive, and that's about it. So now let's see what his new, everything's all messy. Oh, here it is. Holy crap. What the? Okay. Is this him? Demigra? It's gotta be. Okay. Key +2 attack and defense +250. Chance to crit and damage reduction 20%. Launches an additional attack that has a great chance of becoming a super attack. High chance to stun the attacked enemy. Yeah, this is Demigra. Okay. So you've got critical, you've got damage reduction, and you've got combo in here. So far, I'm thinking dodge. When attacking, attack and defense +250. When 3 or more crossover or Realm of God category allies are on the team, or when all allies attacking in the same turn are extreme class. Notice how all of these conditions still are based around crossover. If you run crossover, all your problems are solved. If you want to be fancy with it and move them outside of the category, you'll have to adhere to these extra conditions. Either run all villains, or use androids, or use Realm of Gods, or use demonic power, yada yada yada. Attack and defense +300%, chance to crit and dodge +40%. So now our critical has gone up to 60%, and now we're rocking 20 damage reduction and 40 dodge. In slot 2, one-time activation of 40% chance to dodge. One-time activation of interrupting the attacked enemy. In slot 3, chance to dodge and damage reduction +30%. So now damage reduction becomes 50% and dodge becomes 70%. So you've essentially got 70% critical, 70% dodge, 50% damage reduction, attacks guaranteed to hit. Holy crap. Okay. These are sub EZAs. Like that's why the seal, like the expectations are just so low, and I am being very pleasantly surprised here. When HP is 60% or more, attack +266%. Chance to dodge +6%. Okay. So he gets to 76% chance to dodge as long as you're doing well. All right. When HP is 60% or less, or when the character is in slot 3 at the start of the turn, and all allies attacking in the same turn are crossover or Realm of God category characters, starting from the 3rd turn from the character's entry. So what they're saying here is if you're in a bind, or when the character is in the 3rd turn at the start of the turn, meaning the preceding turn he would have had to be in the 2nd slot, which is this right here. So if you ran this once, which would have probably been at the beginning, you would have had all this and you would have been okay with leaving him in slot 2, and then he'll end up in slot 3 in time for this. Then you will transform into giant form. Whereas his original condition was when HP is 60% or less, it was just a 50% chance to transform. Not gonna lie, I actually kind of prefer it this way. But okay, I mean, now you can manipulate it so that you can guarantee it, which is probably better. Okay, so now he goes giant form. Let's check out giant form. Pretty sure he sucked in his giant form originally. So this dude caused destructive, 10% chance to stun. 20%? I thought rare means 10%. Okay, whatever. 20%, 10%, I don't care. Key +1, that was it in his passive. Okay. So now let's see what giant form Demigra does. So for a super attack, massively raises attack temporarily, causes destructive damage, medium chance to stun. Then for the passive, key +3, attack +666, attacks guaranteed to hit. When the enemy's HP is 60% or more, attack +666%, and chance to perform a critical +66%. This guy's reminding me of Venom Iotismon. I don't know why. I think it's because of all the 6s. Okay, so this means you want to use giant form quickly, which means putting this guy in slot 2 as soon as possible is the play, so that you can do all of this. So if you open, so either turn 1 or turn 2, or even turn 3, whatever you do, open with this guy in slot 2, and then you move him to slot 3 for the rest of the fight. But you can use this giant form once. That's pretty cool. It's a very unique way to use a character. So that is your Demigra. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about this dude with his base form and his giant form. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. The next up, we got the 2 bums. We got the Xeno Trunkses. I am very much anti-Trunks because he's just boring to me. I'm gonna keep mentioning how much I hate him. All right, so where the heck is physical Xeno Trunks? Fun fact, this was among the first characters that I ever max linked because I was like, oh, this would be amazing. Attack plus 20% for all allies. He boosts everybody up, but he also hits everybody. This is before I understood what damage multipliers and stuff were. Oh, so dumb. All right, so this is like, look at this. Look at how many. He's an AoE. He has a little bit of support, and he's got a flat boost, and his leader skill is terrible. All right, so now let's take a look at physical Xeno Trunks. All allies key plus 3, stats plus 60%. Okay. For the super attack, this is his super attack. Greatly raises attack and raises defense for 1 turn. Causes supreme damage to all enemies. Raises allies attack and defense by 20% for 2 turns. Ooh, much better. Much better. All right, so now let's take a look at the passive. Again, his passive basically doesn't exist. Key plus 4, attack and defense plus 250, damage reduction 15%, crossover or defenders of justice category allies defense plus 30% for 2 turns. Oh, that's good. Defenders of justice. That's going to be his like little extra category, huh? When HP is 80% or less, or when facing 2 or more enemies, guaranteed crit. When attacking with 12 or more key, attack and defense plus 250, damage reduction plus 15%. In slot 2 or 3, attack and defense plus 250, damage reduction 20%. Wow, so he's got 50% damage reduction. Okay. In slot 3, launches an additional attack that has a 70% chance of becoming a super attack. When 3 or more crossover or defenders of justice category allies are on the team, or when all allies attacking the same turn are super class characters. So again, feeding back to the original condition, if you just run crossover, you can run good guys, bad guys, whatever, you're fine. But if you're trying to branch out, you can't run this unit along with the others like Towa and Mira and stuff like that. Attack and defense plus 250, 50% chance to crit. Oh, so you don't need crit at all. Randomly changes key series of a certain type physical STR excluded into physical. Oh, nice. The STR is there to accommodate the God Vegeta. Foresees enemy super attack within the character's attacking turn, starting from the 4th turn from the start of battle. Oh, you have nice. You have permanent scouting from turn 4 onwards. That's nice. Okay. So this is very much a slot 2 or slot 3 unit, probably more so slot 2 when you get the scouting going. So that's not bad. Considering what he used to be, this is very nice. 50% damage reduction, crit taken care of. You could go all dodge and then put the rest into additional. Very easy, simple build. All right, let me know what you guys think about these Xeno Trunks physical in the comments. And now we bring ourselves to the last of the big 5 here, and that is the AGL Xeno Trunks. Okay, he's also non-existent, does nothing. He did have a multiplicative attack boosting thing for 6 turns, so I think he's actually going to be pretty good. So let's see. AGL 100% lead, nobody cares. For the super attack, causes supreme damage to the enemy, raises attack for 7 turns, and then raises allies attack and defense by 20% for 2 turns. Usually with multiplicative supers, I like to focus more so on additionals, so I'm also seeing this as a way to not only boost up his stats like crazy for 7 turns, but you're going to get some nice extra support for multiple turns. That's nice. Okay. For the passive, key plus 2, attack and defense plus 250. Chance to dodge plus 25%. Crossover or mission execution. Category allies attack and attack plus 30% for 2 turns. When attacking with 12 or more key, attack and defense plus 250. And if HP is 80% or less, or when facing 2 or more enemies, plus an additional attack plus 150. As the 2nd or 3rd attacker, attack and defense plus 250. Chance to dodge plus 25. So 45% chance to dodge. In slot 3, launches an additional attack that has a 70% chance of becoming a super. Okay. When receiving a normal attack, damage reduction 60%. When receiving a super attack, chance to dodge plus 30% temporarily. So that means our dodge is now 75%. So you have a great chance to dodge supers, and you have a almost high chance to dodge normals. But if you don't, you have a 60% damage reduction, which seems nice, but he's not raising his defense whatsoever on his super attack. So this, I feel like this guy's gonna be weird. When 3 or more crossover or mission execution category allies are on the team, or when all allies attacking the same turn, super class damage, attack and defense plus 250, 70% chance to crit, and disables enemy action. Ooh, okay. So critical's taken care of. So full dodge. Yep. full dodge, the rest additional, which isn't bad since this is an AGL unit. All right, so that is all of the units, EZAs. Let me know what you guys think, what this unit can do. How do you rate this unit in the comments down below? Let me know. Honestly, I can't tell which one I like the most because all of them have issues. But I'll just say some of you guys are probably thinking these guys suck. And again, I'll just go back to what I was saying. Since these guys are such random, irrelevant units in general, I wasn't expecting like transcendent, busted EZAs. Not to mention crossover heroes, teams, they're just not the top tier stuff. So, you know, I don't think that this totally changes, you know, fundamentally how good the crossover category is. I do think that this adds a lot more depth and synergy. You have options now. You don't have to just run the new units. You can swap these guys out. Like, for example, the Mira provides the, like the 20% dodge. That doesn't just apply to the TEQ Towa. It also applies to the AGL Towa and Mira. It also gives them extra stats. So this is going to make that unit's stacking more prolific. It's going to give the unit more defensive options, right? I recommend you give that unit full dodge. So that plus this now passive dodge is nice. There are some issues here because he lacks the defense that you would typically expect from a stacker. But again, it's crossover. Like, I just don't think, I just don't care. I just don't care. I don't know if this is just, you know, indifference because this is the time of year where Dokkan is kind of on the slower side. It's just that it's crossover. Like, I expect to have fun with these weird, quirky units, and then I forget about them for the majority of the year. And then we come back to it whenever, you know, the next crossover celebration happens. That's just kind of how these guys are. I think probably I'd like this one the most. I think Demigra might actually be the best one, just because there's a way to use him. And then after you do that, you can just keep floating him. And he's going to be a nice damaging unit with some good offense and defense. I think this is probably my favorite. This one's the best. That's my opinion. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like down below. Load in the comments your thoughts on these 5 EZAs. Which ones do you like? Which ones do you not like? Did I goof anywhere? Feel free to chime in on anything else that I didn't mention in the comment. Oh, crap. There's events coming up. All right, I'll do another video. Also, be sure to subscribe for more Dokkan content in the future and click the notification bell so that you'll let YouTube know you want to see more of my stuff. Do it. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned, and ours words to Dokkan responsibly.